been waiting for, because this is where, for most of you, we are. Because they usually say they will go ahead and do it, notwithstanding anything all of us have said. So they've gone ahead and they've done some tenders. But here is where the risk begins. If the tender that they do, because you are buying something new, if you do it shabbily and you do it without care, you can buy something that causes more problems. So we have to look at how the EC is buying the new system as well, even if we don't agree with them. And the way that they are buying the system is through the tender. And we've evaluated the tender carefully and want to give you a short narration for you to judge for yourself. They published the tender in April 2019. Some people came, some of the best companies in the world, they said, oh, we'll do this for you, we'll do this for you, and we'll charge this amount. They easily looked at all of it and said, for some reason, we don't like what we are seeing, and then they canceled the tender. Then they reissued it again in August. The same set of people came and different vendors came. They said, we'll do this for you, we'll do this for you, and we'll charge this amount. It went on to around December, 4 months of evaluation. Then the committee settled on some people. The EC also started writing to the committee saying, we like these companies. This is a tender. We like these companies. We think these are the companies that should go. Eventually, they managed to get some 4 companies through and then send it to the Public Procurement Authority. But they had strong armed the members of the tender committee to the point where the chairman of that committee was not willing to have his name associated with the process. So the EC got angry, set up a whole new committee, started the tender all over again, starting on 10th January 2020. On 13th January, they met to establish their term of reference. On 17th, they invited the companies to come back. On 18th, they held the demonstrations and the technical evaluation. And then on 19th, because they are magical and they are greatest geniuses in the world, they already had the winner. $72 million, carry and go. That's literally what happened. Now they do that, and now they have this winner. We say, okay, we don't like how you did it, but maybe you still got the right person. But what are the people that lost and why did they lose and things like that? So we started reading the document. They said, oh, the companies that lost, there was one that was very good, called Smartmatic. But as for this company, we're going to do some research about them, and they have some reputational issues. One of them was that in Philippines, the president of the Philippines was angry with them and the electoral commission of that country. And the attorney general said he will even do investigations. So when we look at that, we are suspicious of their track record. It didn't sound very sensible, because politicians make accusations about everybody all the time. But well, maybe the others didn't have anything at all, so maybe this little thing isn't interesting. We said, okay, let's look at the one that actually won. A company called Thales. Now, this company is a French company. So we started digging into this company. We found out that in 2004, 2005, the company was blacklisted by the World Bank globally for corruption. We said, this is serious. I mean, of all the companies, is the one that got blacklisted that you want? We started digging. It's like a pattern. It's an amazing pattern. It's an amazing pattern. And I'll show you a few. This is a company that today, it's under investigation in South Africa for bribing President Jacob Zuma and his people. This is a company that's under an active investigation today, has been found guilty after a proper procedural effort in South Africa. This is a company that in Gabon was more or less run out of that country by NGOs because they went to corrupt the electoral process there. This is a company that in Cambodia got itself into trouble again with the World Bank. This is a company that went to Estonia to do ID cards for them. Remember, this company has bought a company called Gemalto. So when I say Thales and Gemalto, I'm talking about the same company. Gemalto was bought by Thales. This is a company that went to Estonia, told them they can do ID cards for them. Did something so bad that the government couldn't use it. And the government is suing them 150 million euros. My argument is not that if you are like this, you shouldn't get a contract in the world. My argument is that you cannot say one company has reputational risk because somebody threatened them in Philippines, and then you choose a winner which has reputational risk that even Satan will be scared of. It doesn't make sense. That's what I'm saying. I mean, you can go and do business with Thales, a big French company that has billions of dollars, but if the point upon which you are going to disqualify another company's reputational risk, you can't use this. End of story. On top of that, if you compare this Thales and the Smartmatic company that they say have problems, there's no comparison in terms of who has experience when it comes to electoral technology. Smartmatic almost 21 projects. Tallies almost 7 projects. Half of which I've explained to you, mired in corruption scandals. In fact, in one case in Benin, just next door Benin, the Electoral Commission of Benin, there was an MP who also sits on the Electoral Commission of Benin. This person has a shell company. He has registered a company, but he doesn't actively run it. It was receiving money from Gemato while Gemato was still pursuing contracts and already had won contracts in Benin. When it was revealed, he said, oh, he doesn't manage it actively, it's through a trust, so he doesn't see what the problem is. Why are you paying people that sit on electoral commissions in Benin? And my argument is that if you have such a company, and after all of this, this is secret, you still like them, but you don't like the other company that has more track record because you say somebody threatened them in the Philippines, then you have something shady going on. The biggest issue of all, 18th April 2020. Everybody should go and register. We are saying it here and today that the EC cannot use a new system to conform to that timeline. It's not possible, and we'll explain why. So if the EC goes ahead and does it, then it will not be using the new system properly configured. There must be some shortcuts that they have discovered, which is going to enable them. But if you want to do the proper thing, it's not possible. It's possible that they have some shortcuts. The danger in shortcuts must be obvious to all of you. And that is where we hope you will start asking the questions. What is the shortcut that is going to enable them to get us a new system in April 18, which is less than 6 weeks away? And I'll tell you why that is not possible, if they want to do it properly. If I am a technologist, I build technology. If you want to build software platform that can manage 25 million voters, that is the spec they have set, because Ghana will increase in population, 25 million voters. There are 36,000 polling stations, 8,000 electoral registration areas. It's a distributed system. Software sitting on devices all over the place, all of them being centralized, etc., etc., etc. If you really want to do such a system, can you use 6 weeks to build such a system? How much does it take to do a project on Excel for your finances? Think of it carefully. You need to do specification. This is the system we want. Look at all the documentation issues. You need to go and have people start to develop. You have to test. You have to do field tests. If there are issues, you need to review. How possible can you do that in 6 weeks? How long have you been working on our e-visa systems at the airport? At the very least 2 years for the current generation. So think about it carefully. If somebody says that up to now, they've not finished with the tender process for the hardware, when it comes to the software, they did the same thing they did with the hardware. They published the tender in October 13th. The result that they got, they didn't like, so they cancelled it. So this becomes a pattern. When they don't like, they cancel. They decide that I think this one we should do sole sourcing. Now, nobody knows for a fact where they are in that software tender. Let's say they complete it next week. You now have what? Less than 5 weeks left. How are you going to build a completely new software platform to sit on 8,500 devices, test as many of them as possible, go to the field and evaluate them, etc., etc.? We say it is not humanly possible. If in building a little website, those of you who have built websites in this audience before, it doesn't take 5 weeks. What does that mean? What that means is this. If the EC does not become transparent and answer some hard questions, how are you going to configure this system and get it ready before April 18th when you've not finished your tender process? When there are accusations that you are so sourcing a system after the tender failed to give you the outcome. When there are allegations that the people that did the bidding, that you are now trying to go back to the same tallies and give them the software as well as the hardware, when you yourself have made a policy that you won't want one company to control both the software and the hardware, and when people are suspicious that if you do that, it makes it easy for the system to be manipulated, and therefore there's political concern, if all of these issues are not resolved, how are you in 5 weeks going to implement such a system, run all the tests, and then tell people to walk out there and go and vote? We think they will use a shortcut. We don't know what shortcut it is. But if you are following best practices, if you are being objective and transparent, if you are being thoughtful, careful, diligent, you will not use a shortcut. You will do the proper thing. That means that the software specification will be properly developed and verified and vetted. That means that the vendor that has been selected will meet stakeholders and do demonstrations, etc., etc., etc. You will not do tenders that you cancel when they don't go your way. You will put information out so people are fully aware. Where are we? How are we going to get there? What's the timeline, the roadmap, etc. Because the EC has demonstrated a complete disinterest in doing things properly, we argue that we are likely to use a shortcut, and that shortcut will bring us problems, if not in this election, in subsequent elections. Remember, they said they came to meet a mess. They said the system that they came to meet was so bad that they have to throw it all away and buy a new one. Yet, you have 81 IT professionals who have been sitting there since that thing was procured. Why are you at this stage that you are claiming you want to repair that system, doing things that are even worse than the previous administration? Because at least the previous administration commissioned an audit of the system and were given a path. What independent audits have you commissioned? Why is that the people that you brought on board as consultants to help you navigate the procurement process are actually now being exposed as people with contracts in the EC? You've all heard the issue of Fair Green and their famous CEO, whose company is trying to get business at the EC, but at the same time is advising the EC how to implement the system. Now, when somebody comes to you who has an interest in getting your money and getting a contract, and he tells you your existing system is completely useless, throw it away, how can any objective, sensible person say this is rational? So these are the questions that we believe you must put to the EC. And you must force a national debate, not only because this money should not be thrown away. This is money that can do so much good. We're talking of millions of dollars. Millions of dollars. If you share this money to everybody in Ghana, they'll get $5. That's how crazy the situation is. So it's a significant amount of money. Now, on top of that, there are huge projects we can do in this country. We are waiting for China to bring us money to go and do roads. Right? So, that is the problem. But on top of that, it's also the integrity of our elections and maintaining the free and fair nature of those elections. I think it's beholden on all of us to compel the EC to do the